This problem asks us what is the mass in grams of 7.81 times 10 to the 22 atoms of calcium. Again, when you work through these problems, it's always a good idea before you start to go back and reference the amount in 1 mole. So again, I've got a little bit of a visual over here for you to help you sort of recognize what's going on with this problem. It's a little tricky here because numbers in scientific notation can cause problems. I'm going to just change this to 0.781 times 10 to the 23. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because I'm going to compare it to 6 times 10 to the 23. So if we do some estimation here, again, this is going to be super rough to start just to give us an idea if we're on the right track. But if I use 1, this is kind of close to 1 times 10 to the 23, kind of, we'd be at about a 1/6 of a mole. And again, sort of a rough idea just tells me, okay, well, I definitely have less than half a mole. And I definitely have less than, I mean, it's even less than a 6. So I definitely have less than 1/4 of a mole. And that's just what I'm going to use to sort of get my mind around this problem before we even begin, that I'm definitely looking at something that's less than 1/4 of a mole. And if you are a better mathematician than I am, I'm sure you can estimate a little bit. Oh, we could use 0.8, right? Yeah, 0.6 would be a 1/10, and 0.8 would be a little bit more than a 1/10. I suck at math. But just use a number that's easy for you. If it's a little bit of a giant estimation, that's fine, but do some estimation. That skill is going to come in super helpful on the multiple choice section where you don't get to use a calculator. Okay, time to tackle this problem. As we take a look here, how would we solve this using the calculator? We're going to start with the amount that we're given in the problem. 7.81 times 10 to the 23 atoms of calcium. We can't go directly to grams. We have to go first to moles. So atoms to moles. In fact, if you don't know what to do, always go to moles. So 1 mole is going to be Avogadro's number 6.02 times 10 to the 23. And from there, we can convert from moles to grams of calcium. 1 mole is going to be 40.08 grams of calcium. Again, I'm pulling this from the periodic table. Calcium, boom, 40.08. And then it's just bust out your calculator and solve. Notice all of our units except grams of calcium will cancel out, and we'll be left with 5.20 grams of calcium. And again, as you're estimating, we knew we would have less than 1/4, and we did some seriously rough estimation there. And 5 is definitely less than 1/4 of a mole of calcium, which is 40 grams. And we expected less than 1/4. This is roughly a little more than 1/10 of a mole, which seems pretty close. I mean, if we had 0.6, if we used 0.6, 0.6 would be a 0.6 times 10 to the 23 would be a 1/10. So this is a pretty good, I feel pretty good about this. Plus I get the teacher's edition, so that's correct. Plus I'm a genius. Next problem.